We are counting days till Halloween in the Collector's Cave, and today we will be looking at Dracula from Diamond Select. On this horrific review occasion, also we will be joined by Jack the Pumpkin, and also the Collector's Cave has a brand new look with a brand new background just to get you in the mood for all the spookiness. Hello folks, this is the Collector and we are starting off our countdown to Halloween with a review about Dracula himself. This is a figure from Universal Monsters series made by Diamond Select, and I cannot think of a better character to start off than with the prince himself, so let's take a look. Coming to the front of the box, we have the Universal Monsters logo and Dracula, the name of the figure. Then in the lower corner there's a portrait of Dracula, and again on the side we have the Universal Monsters logo in the upper area, and another portrait of Dracula, which I couldn't really put my finger on if this is a specific actor or not. And coming to the back side, we do have a big clear image of the figure right there, and then the name and also a text. Sleeping in a coffin by day and preying on the beautiful woman by night, the man called Count Dracula is not a man but a vampire. Following his voyage from the mountains of Transylvania to London, in 1931 Universal's adaptation of Bram Stoker's novel remains the most iconic. That's pretty much all you are going to get in terms of a story written on this box. You can also see what else is available. It's Frankenstein, Dracula Minis and Frankenstein Minis series. There's also a logo of Diamond Select and Universal down below of that. Let's now creep inside the box and see what's inside. The first thing I found in the box is a small booklet, well, maybe not that much of a booklet, than it is a folded page, let's see. That on the front has the Minimates series doing some partying at Dracula's, and if we open it up, then we have the big Universal Studios home of the original Monsters logo and the Minimates series just sitting above it. That looks pretty cool, and it has pretty nice colors and it's a good print as well. Now if we turn this page around, we can see in the left upper corner some pictures of the Minimates series. These look actually pretty good. I would like to own maybe some of them at some point in time. Then to the right side of the page we do have an image of Dracula. Then there's the actual figure that we are going to take a look at today. There's also another variation of Dracula on this page, and also many other figures, like Frankenstein. Frankenstein, it's a figure that we are going to take a look quite soon enough, I'd say. And then we'll have another bunch of other figures that come from the series, produced by Diamond Select all as well. The very first accessory this figure comes with is a wolf. Yes, it's a grey wolf. Wolf has a pretty nice sculpt to it, I might add. And I think they did a pretty good job with this wolf. I do like the way they painted his eyes with the yellow. It just makes it look more weary as a night creature, and I really do like the way his fur is sculpted. Pretty detailed, I might add. It looks pretty good. Unfortunately, Wolf doesn't have any articulation whatsoever. Not in the head, not in his feet, and not in his tail. He's just a big block of plastic, but it's nicely sculpted. Then at his feet we can see we have two peg holes. Now this will help you to peg the wolf into place, into the base that this figure comes with. That being said, wolf looks pretty good. The Dracula figure also comes with a base, as I said before, and the base looks rather well. It looks tough, made out of kind of resilient plastic. I think it's a bit bendable, but nonetheless this cannot be broken too easily, and I believe that's a good thing for a base. There's also fair amount of detailing going into this base, and having illustrated this bedrock structure, that looks pretty nice. Behind the base we can have some few informations and a serial number that I don't really know what that serial number is about. And as you could probably notice, the plastic, it's pretty thick and pretty resistant, and I would say this base is it's quite well done. Also, you can see a series of pegs on the base. The first two are for the wolf companion that he'll peg into place, and the second set of pegs it's for Dracula himself that will sit a bit upper on the corner right there. Overall, it's a good looking base. No details were spared, and the textures just look great. Let's have a bit of a closer look to the Count Dracula's bust here. As we can see, his face it's rather detailed, and it does have a good sculpt in there. As a thing I noticed with Diamond Select figures, you can always expect a good sculpt from them. The paint is at least decent, I would say. There is a high amount of detailing going on his skin and plenty of shading going around the eyes right there. I think it's a good look for him. Although I would strangely believe that the paint could still be improved on this hell sculpt, especially the eyes area could be probably painted a bit better than this. At a first view, the figure looks quite nice, and the very first thing I noticed is that the cape is removable. Not only it's removable, but it does sometimes remove itself when you don't want that, and that could be a bit of an issue. The cape is made out of rubbery material, it has a nice crimson red on the inside, and a cool black on the outside. If it wasn't for the black and you would put a bit of emotion to it, you might also believe this cape comes from Doctor Strange. But that's not the case, and as for Dracula, this cape looks very good. Dracula here really looks like a count because he's really classily dressed. You can see he has a very nice outfit and that the clothes do have a nice set of wrinkles, which looks pretty good as it looks natural on the figure, and we do have a bit of fabric texture to it as well. Going to the back, we can see that his little tunic here does actually move, and it is bendable. It is also that kind of rubbery plastic, and that's pretty good because it will allow this figure to actually move. In terms of how it will be able to move and how we can actually pose the count, we will see right in a second. Talking about articulation, to his right hand there is a swivel in there, and there's also rotation. Coming to the left hand, there's also a swivel and rotation just as similar to the other hand. Uh, yeah, I guess you can have some posability with this option of turning his hands around. Going to his head though, things get a bit, well, there's really no movement into the head. Well, maybe there is, but I wouldn't like to apply more pressure on that head because it seems like it would break on me. Going to the middle of the figure, there is some torso rotation. It's just a slight rotation, and this is mostly because his clothes and the way his pants are sculpted, so there's really not much that going on to his torso move. Looking at his feet, we can see there's two actually peg holes, and that will help you actually peg it in place into this figure's stand. Also, the feet have basically no movement whatsoever. There are no joints on his knees, and basically there are no joints anywhere. His head doesn't move, as I just told you, so we do have rather limited options when it comes to actually posing Dracula. He has a nice pointing figure and he has rotation in his hands as well, so I guess, yeah, you could use that maybe to your advantage to help you pose the figure. Maybe raise his hands and make him direct an orchestra or something. Yeah, that could work for him. It's a good image. But yeah, let's just forget about that and let's see how his cape goes into place. In order to attach his cape, all you need to do is lie it around his neck, and it will mainly pretty much just sit there. The figure does look pretty good with the cape on, but you must be careful because this cape usually tends to fall off, and you might not really want to fiddle too much with it after you place this figure on display. In terms of posability, this is what I found to work best for me. Having Dracula with his pointy finger showing something maybe in the woods, showing to his little wolf friend to go and get that peasant for me. And also at this stance the cape comes out really nicely with that very nice crimson red, and I do believe I will actually use this pose on my shelf. Now I guess you could do some variations with him, but with his little wolf does not move at all. And something a bit weird I found about his little wolf is that there's this gap between his leg and the stand to the back that actually makes him look a bit weird, like he's flying or something. It cannot be denied the fact that Dracula has an impressive stance with his wolf companion by his side. This was the Collector, and today we were looking at Dracula from Diamond Select under the Universal Monsters series. And I must say I'm quite pleasantly impressed with this figure, as it does have really nice paint to it, it does come with his cool wolf by his side, and the sculpts are pretty well done. I would say overall a pretty good figure. Now do not forget, if you do like what you see in the Collector's Cave, hit that subscribe button, and do not forget to check out some of the other content on the Collector's Cave. Until next time, keep on looking for those cool figures.